I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today is a very special episode. We're bringing back a return guest, Michelle Lackey, and I'm proud to announce that she is a newly released author in our recently released 11th edition of our best-selling business leader book series. Michelle's known as the Lady Track Boss, and she's the over at the Alaska Raceway Park. First off, Michelle, welcome back to the show. So good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, Adam. Thanks for having me back, and I'm excited to talk about the book.
All right, so we'll definitely get into that. And just for everybody watching, I have one in my hand, and I'm really excited about it. And so Michelle's content was called "Building a Community Around the Track." So we'll talk about that. But before we do, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all, with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. Michelle, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's what we do. Michelle, what mission matters to you?
The mission that matters most to me is just keeping motorsports alive in our community here in Alaska, but not just in Alaska, across our great country. Motorsports has been kind of a backbone to a lot of things over the years, and I really feel like it is an important piece to our country and to our community and to our state as a whole. And so what I can do here is, make our raceway the best it can be, and hopefully help some other people keep their motorsports businesses going, and hopefully it'll be here for a long time to come.
Thank you for sharing that. And just to get us kicked off here, I don't want to assume that all our new listeners have maybe heard some of our previous content. So we're going to start with one of my favorite things, Lady Track Boss. I mean, that's what I'm talking about as a title. Talk to me about how you got started in this business.
Well, motorsports is a family event. My brother started racing here in the late 80s, and of course, we all got drug along to come out to the raceway. As soon as I was old enough to drive, I was racing, and the same with my little brothers. My parents took over the raceway with some other racers at the end of the 90s, and 98 is when they took over solely. So my family's run it for almost 30 years now.
Wow.
I ended up having a daughter in 97, and when that happened, instead of racing, I switched into the role of working behind the scenes in the tower, and I've kind of been working here ever since. Did a lot of behind the scenes stuff, helped my parents with a lot of stuff. We started as a drag strip, but in 2016 we added a 1/3 mile high banked paved oval, and it's a NASCAR sanctioned track. And so at that time my dad was like, okay, I'm building the track, but you're going to run it. And so I started running that circle track, and then took over for my parents completely in 2020.
Wow. What's one of your favorite parts about being in the business, about being in motorsports? What do you like about it?
My favorite part about being in motorsports is the people. We have an incredible group of racers out here that have seen me grow up. I've seen them grow up. I've seen, their kids and my kids. Like, we've all kind of worked together on this. And, people can be out there and they'll be racing each other. But if somebody's car breaks, they're the first ones to hop in and be there and help get them parts or get them whatever they need to get back on the track. We have extended family now with the racers that have moved to different places across the globe. But our track family is what makes this all worthwhile.
And so your content for the book, Building a Community Around the Track, there's a lot of different angles, a lot of different approaches you could have taken in your writing. Why this angle? Why this content? Why was that important for you to publish?
It's important to me because as I look towards the leadership that I provide here at the Raceway, and I feel this is important not only in the racetrack setting, but in other businesses, is that you have a community of people that are depending on you. I have people that are depending on me to make sure that the Raceway stays in business and that we keep going. And it's important to remember, kind of from a servant leadership sort of the standpoint, who it is that you're serving. And we have, our racers, of course, that want to have a place to come out and play. And we have our employees that are here not because they're making $1 million, because you don't do that working in a raceway.
Yeah.
But they're here because they love what they do, and they're taking their time to be here. We have our fans that come out that are here, enjoying the races and being entertained, and that's what our goal is to entertain them. And then we have sponsors who are investing their hard-earned dollars into what we're doing so that we can continue to provide these things for everybody else. And so my whole look at running the facility is trying to make sure that I'm keeping all of those user groups satisfied as much as I can. Of course, you can't ever please everybody, but trying to make sure that everybody's getting their needs met, because without all of these people that are working together in this community that we have of motorsports, it's not going to work.
So you grew up in this motorsports community and just in the community in general, as you mentioned. What are now that you're on the other side and you've been in this position for a while as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and running the day to day? What are some of the things that you find make this particular community so sticky, or just what makes it work?
I think what makes our community work is there's transparency in what I am doing. There is trust. The racers trust that I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to help them keep our facility going, and I'm very clear with everybody about whatever setbacks we have. I include them in decision making as far as hey, projects that we need done. I listen to them when I do, I ask for feedback, and they give me feedback on rule changes and things like that. And it's not that I let them run everything, but I feel it's important for us to make sure that we're all communicating together about needs and specific things that we're going to be working towards. So that way, the racers and my employees and the fans, everybody's got buy-in, because this is their track. My name's on the bottom line, but it's our playground, and it's what we want to be doing. And so I need to get the feedback and stuff from everybody so that we can continue to grow it.
Yeah. So that the concept of communities, whether you're building a community around a show, around a business, like this has been something that is it's very current day. I think after COVID, I feel like a lot this concept of wanting to be connected and connectivity just took on a whole new meaning. If you were to give some advice, to the new community builders, and it doesn't have to be in motorsports, I just mean in general, on how to start a community, how to make it work. Like, what kind of things would you tell them for those new community builders, let's say?
I would tell new community builders to make sure that they're listening to the people in their community, and that they're working really, really hard on communicating, your goals and your visions, and making sure that is expressed out, so that people that you're trying to get to be part of your community understand what it is that they're working towards. Communication is a really, really big thing. And don't talk a whole lot about what you're going to do. Just do what you need to do, and people will see that from action. They'll get buy-in with you. A lot of people come in and they'll talk really big about all of the stuff that's going to happen, but then it doesn't happen. So it's better to just let stuff happen and let that speak for itself. Everybody will kind of buy into it when they know that your heart's in the right place and you're doing what needs to be done.
Let's get into the racing side of things a little bit. So, new season, what's up? Like, talk to me about the season. Talk to me about what you have planned.
We have got so many things on the schedule for this year. So we kick off in 2 weeks. We start at our NASCAR track. So we are NASCAR.
That'll be mid-May, right? Is that mid-May?
Mother's Day weekend. So okay. Mother's Day weekend. So we're going to be racing at the NASCAR track and the NX track. We're going to start at the drag strip a couple weeks later than usual, just because we're running into a little snafus with our tower construction project that we're working on, but it's going to be great when it's done. And have a whole season of racing ahead of us. We have a lot of guys that have been building new cars, and so there's going to be new ones back in there. We're going to be kicking off a big event this year called Speed Fest, which will
Mm.
highlight everything that we can do at the raceway all in one day. We're going to have drifting, oval racing, a car show, drag racing, and roll racing all in one day. And then that kicks off Alaska Speed Week, which is a drag and drive event. And I don't know how familiar you are with those, but the competitors have to race at Alaska Raceway Park, and then they have to drive their race car along this route that we have scheduled, and it's about 800 miles.
Mm.
And then we're going to set up a racetrack in the middle of an airport up in Tanacross and race for a couple days up there, and then come back. The challenge with having a drag and drive in Alaska is that we're really the only racetrack in the state.
Wow.
So we have we're trying to find locations where we can set up this like pop-up drag strip so that we have places to race.
Wow.
We're adding in a concert this summer, so we have a young lady, Carson Gray, who is a recording artist in North Carolina, but she also races legend cars, and so she's going to fly up and sing on Friday, race on Saturday, and then just her whole family's coming up to have a good time. So we have just so much stuff going on. And then today we're actually going to be announcing that we are going to be doing a bump to pass race in August. So that is, I don't know what we're going to call it, maybe like a beater with a heater race or something. But basically, it's on the oval track. The guys, in order to pass the car, you have to hit it on the way. And then we're going to add in a little jump just for fun.
Mm.
So it should be good.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And there, not to make you into the tour guide or anything like that, but for people that are listening to this, even though I always do that to you, for the
Yeah,
record, but for people
okay.
that have never either been to Alaska or like, let's just say you're racing tourists who haven't maybe visited the track and are like, or they're watching this or listening to this and they're like, hey, I always wanted to go to Alaska. This is a great excuse, especially if you're a motor sports enthusiast. Talk a little bit about just the infrastructure and how easy it is to get in, out, like amenities, like just a little bit, because I had that conversation with you recently because I do want to make it out to something this season, to go see you and also to go check out some racing. But I was like, maybe that's helpful for the audience too, because it can be a little intimidating if you've never been. I don't know.
Alaska is actually really easy to get to. When you come up by plane, you'll fly into Anchorage, which is 45 minutes north of, or 45 minutes south of where we're at. So fly in, rent a car. There's plenty of hotels and restaurants and everything. If you're so inclined to Airbnb, there are plenty of Airbnb locations around the entire state. You can drive out to the raceway, hang out, and then from there are so many things you can do. Right here in this area, there are helicopter tours that go out to the glacier that's at the end of the valley that the track is in. There are four-wheeler tours. There's loads of fishing. You can take a train tour and go north or south or anything. Or if you're so inclined, come up and be part of the Tundra Tour, which is the part of Alaska Speed Week. You don't race your car, but you get to cruise around with all of the racers during Speed Week. And there's a small fee for that, but that includes all of your admission to all of the events, as well as t-shirts and swag and stuff like that. And then you get to tour all the way around Alaska and get to see a lot of really, really cool things. Plus, you'll be hanging out with a lot of people and doing motorsport stuff. So Alaska Speed Week is kind of a mini tour of the state on its own.
Oh, get me excited every time we talk,
I know,
Michelle.
I'm
This is
trying to
awesome.
hook you in, man.
Yeah, you got me hooked. Well, Michelle, this has been so much fun having you back on the show and getting to see what's going on in the upcoming season, and of course, celebrating our recently released book. So, for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely have some links in the show notes, so you can just click on the links, head on over, pick up a copy, and read more of Michelle's writing, as well as our other authors in the book. That being said, if somebody wants to connect, follow up. I mean, I know I follow your Instagram, but Alaska Raceway Park in general, how do they do that?
Well, our website is raceak.com. You can check us out there. We're very active on Facebook and Instagram at Alaska Raceway. And if you want to follow me, you can check out ladytrackboss.com or follow me on Facebook or Instagram at ladytrackboss as well.
Amazing. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put those links in the show notes so you can just click on them and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with us and you haven't hit that subscribe or follow button, I don't know what you're waiting for. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, new guests, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Michelle, as always, thank you so much for coming back on the show. And I'm so excited to have you as an author in our recently released book. I'm just thrilled. So thank you.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed this.